Let's just focus on the legal lens, not the political lens. The legal lens, it does not matter whether these people were telling the truth or not. I mean, we know everyone in that courtroom has been told no one is challenging that the doorman story was false.
Right.
It still was part of the catch and kill. David Pecker, there was no challenge in that. That the deal was that his story needs to be squashed because it will be damaging. And so whether you believe all three of these or none of them.
So your point is the prosecution risks getting bogged down in trying to prove or disprove the doorman, Stormy, and McDougal when what's at issue is Trump's documents and the bank records silencing all three.
Exactly. And also, the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more the defense is going to, they're going to say it anyway, but the more there's more validity to the defense in summation saying, oh, look, you just want to tar the defendant with this. This isn't really about this criminal case. You're just throwing, spaghetti against the wall. No pun, and sort of.
Which Trump has done.
Exactly. I realized as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, well. I mean, so you protect yourself from that by saying, look, we're not trying to. The reason we've done what we did is we did this surgically, and Stormy Daniels had to give details and had to do this, but you know what? You don't even have to believe her because she, as you pointed out, she's really an exhibit. This is the story that they did not want the public to hear. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. This is exactly what Hope Hicks has said that Donald Trump said to her. I am so grateful to Michael Cohen for paying the hush money payments because we only have to deal with this now, not before the election. That's it. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. Now, if the jury does believe that it's true, it does give an additional motive because it's easier to refute a fake story than a real story. Yeah.
I mean, Sue, what's I'm dying to know what's in your book today because you were back in court and my eyes are so bad I want to put on my glasses and read all of it. But what strikes me as you're sort of the journalist that has followed the money for all these years, so to a Pulitzer and beyond, right? I mean, the money that Trump paid was paid to keep exactly what Stormy Daniels said on direct and on cross away from the voters in 2016.
That's right, and that's powerful, and I think that point will probably be made on summation. But I think it's true. It doesn't, Stormy, it's great if it's true, if it happened, but it doesn't matter. The money was paid to silence the information, whether it was true or not. Donald Trump didn't want any of this to get out, and so I think I just think it's going to come down to that. And those receipts that are going through a lot of, I think the powerful testimony this week, and I sat through Monday, was just the invoice after invoice after invoice that was put into the record to verify the 34 counts. That was really powerful. And I think that's sort of where I think we're going to start to see some of the focus shift as we move into possibly Michael Cohen next week. But today, I have to say, it was really uncomfortable being in there. I mean,
why?
I just think they brought out the nuts and sluts really heavy, and I just felt I started to feel really uncomfortable listening to the cross. It just went on and on and on, and it was slut shaming. It was. And
nuts and sluts. I mean, I thought it sort of, in almost a methodic way, every question bounced back and forth between you're crazy, you're a slut. You have sex on camera, you're too crazy to know the difference. I mean,
and I think they had to go down that route, but just how far they went down, it felt like something from
a choice.
Yeah, a few decades ago, and they just kept going back at it and back at it. And I have to say, Stormy Daniels, it was so impressive to see her when she was going back and forth with Susan Necheles. And Susan Necheles had, she would ask her, one of the questions was, she said, you said that you would be instrumental in putting him in jail. And Stormy's like, show me where I said that.
Had she said it?
And Susan Necheles had to pull up an exhibit, and the exhibit didn't say that. And this happened over and over. And Stormy Daniels was right on that. She didn't accept one thing. Sometimes when a lawyer asks you that, you'll say, yes, I said it, and sometimes you'll wrongly agree to that. And she didn't give an inch, and several times Stormy Daniels caught her, and there was some backpedaling that went on. And I think the strength, I saw a strong woman on the stand today.
Well, I wondered when I saw that, so what she's testified to in direct is a power imbalance, right? And the sex is the sex. And again, it's what Trump sought to keep quiet. But what I thought was amazing is, and we have no idea how the jury will respond to this. But what I thought was amazing is that what Stormy testifies to in direct on Tuesday is a power imbalance that Susan Necheles replayed over and over and over. She because it's only someone powerful who thinks that they can, on cross, get a witness to admit to something they never said.
And Stormy was having none of it. Like it was so powerful, because you do think, and I was thinking about the two of them today, Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, back in 2006 and what that looked like at the time. Forget who they are today. Stormy Daniels was in her 20s. She was an adult film star looking to get on the Celebrity Apprentice.
Correct. And that's what Trump dangled in front of Stormy Daniels in her 20s.
That's like the casting couch. I mean, it was as
Weinstein-esque.
It was Weinstein-esque, and he just played it.
And to carry the metaphor out, what's happening right now legally in court, Andrew Weissman, is that Trump is relitigating the gag order to be permitted to attack a witness in his own criminal trial. Is that going to work?
It should not. I mean, this has been upheld already in New York. It is modeled after the D.C. gag order that has been appealed and upheld. It was slightly narrowed, but the New York one mirrors the narrowed one. I mean, especially given his history, just so everyone understands. There is, as the judge has said, there is nothing in this gag order that prevents Donald Trump from attacking Joe Biden to a fare-thee-well. There is not one word about political attacks that he can engage in.
He's also allowed to attack Alvin Bragg, I believe.
Alvin Bragg and the judge.
And Judge Brashar.
This is, and we can all have our views about whether it should be broader and should cover them.
Why would he want to attack Stormy Daniels? Why would he want permission to attack Stormy Daniels in the arena of public opinion, but not take the stand in his own legal defense?
Well, so this is because this is Donald Trump. I mean, he is going to be a disaster. I mean, I've been through this personally. Like, he was never going to come into the Mueller investigation.
Correct.
In spite of his saying, "Oh, I can't wait to meet with him." I'm still waiting.
Hundreds of times.
Right.
He didn't even tell the truth in his written responses.
Right. In the first impeachment, right? Actually, Robert Mueller in congressional testimony was asked that and said, no, he didn't. It was not candid. With respect to the first impeachment, he kept on saying, not under oath, it's not true, this is what happened. He didn't testify, and of course he wasn't. Why? Because there are sanctions for testifying falsely. And so he wants to be able to just continue this sort of smear campaign, but not do it in a way that he can
it seems to get
count.
at the heart of, in 2016, he feared the impact politically of Stormy Daniels talking, which is why he pays $130,000 to keep her quiet. In 2020, what are we in, 24?
Yeah.
In 2024, he fears the political damage of Stormy Daniels talking. And so he's right now before a judge getting permission to silence or smear her. It's the same story that got him indicted in the first place.
And what you're hearing from the three of us who just heard her live, she is impressive. To your example of where does it say, she's like, didn't you say you wanted to be instrumental in putting him in jail? And she's like, you show me where I said that. And she's like, and then she was right. And by the way, she goes, and when she gets pulled up, she turns to Susan Necheles and goes, where are the words instrumental? Where are the words jail? I mean, she basically is like no.
Let's talk about the dinner exchange that we witnessed today. I mean, that went on and on.
Tell us, what happened?
Susan Necheles was hammering on the idea of she had dinner with Donald Trump, and what did you eat? And they didn't eat. And Susan Necheles went through transcript of interviews she gave where Stormy Daniels had said, we went out for dinner. And Stormy Daniels was like,
I was invited
to dinner. And Stormy's like, show me where it says we ate food. And there was no reference to it.
And the whole thing is, she walks in and he doesn't have clothes on, and she says, get dressed. She thinks they're going to dinner.
Right. And then she says, well, sometimes where I'm from, you say you're going to dinner. It doesn't mean you show up and you eat. It's just kind of a time of day.
Yeah.
But this was a protracted, I felt like maybe 3 hours. I think it was 30 to 40.
Oh, it just went on and on.
An hour.
This was one where I kept on thinking, I wanted to pull Susan Necheles aside and say, move on. Like you were just
You know what you
digging
do
the
to
hole,
politicians? You give them
you
the
know.
this.
I kept saying,
It's
I
not
hope she's
landing.
got something better than this. And then the other thing that struck me, and Andrew, maybe you could speak to this, but her story, I didn't feel like it's changed a little bit over time, and new details have come out. But that happens with witnesses.
Yeah. So
They
that's
don't have the exact same story from beginning to end.
Also, the cross was trying to say you didn't say the same thing in each interview, but she isn't editing the interviews. She's
Well,
not,
and I saw the In Touch interview comes up, and it says on the bottom of the interview,
Correct, as we all
edited.
know, editors get in there and edited by, and that was a perfect riposte.
That only
to kind
happens
of-
to you, does not happen.
We all edit.